folks, and welcome to the Cathay Pacific First Class Lounge at Heathrow. I'm not flying to Hong Kong today, though. I'm just stopping through here for a nice bit of ambiance. I love these Cathay First lounges. All the lounges that Cathay does are great, but especially, got an A350 out there. Okay, so the views here are great. I love the Cathay lounges, but I'm actually flying American Airlines today on the very special brand new 7879. They're running the 78P is the code, and it's the very premium heavy one with their brand new product. I'm flying into Philadelphia, and it should be quite cool. It was kind of a last minute thing. I put this together. Also got it for great value in terms of miles, so I'll talk a little bit about that at the end here, how it is really still possible to get great value out of miles, especially American miles, if you know how to use them. But let's go over and board this 787. I'm super excited to see it. Last time I flew American was last year on the 777. Decent, fine business class, nothing super special though. This is really the new thing they're offering. This is the best of what they're offering. So really curious to see how it is. Let's go do it. Beautiful seat, nice first impression, still getting the feel of everything. The only thing is this little storage bit that I don't even know what it's really for. I couldn't figure out how to actually open it after I closed it, so not the most intuitive maybe, or maybe I'm just stupid today. But really beautiful, really big business class cabin. It goes all the way back to row 14 behind door 2 here, and I'm in the last row of the sort of largest business cabin 9 Alpha, currently blocked by the jet bridge, but the views and the light should get nicer in a moment. So although lately I have been a proponent of avoiding drinking or drinking less on flights because it's just the smart thing to do, there's something about the American Airlines gin and tonic. It's just a thing. It's an association I have, really. They make them quite nice and strong as well, and it's just tasty. It's just a part of the American experience for me. So I just always order a gin and tonic to start things off with American. And they've got some little nuts and canapes here. It's looking pretty good. Nice little space here. Tucked away here with no one next to me. I don't know, that could be a good or bad thing. I'm right by the galley. I kind of wanted to have an overview of the cabin in front, see everything going on, how the service flow is. Flight attendants were mentioning that they've kind of been dropped onto this aircraft with very little idea of how the flow should go, where things are exactly. They didn't get a special training or sort of a time to get familiarized with this aircraft before getting on board. In fact, the one serving me said, she had an hour before boarding, she got on board and she had to sort of familiarize herself with where things are. But considering that, the service seems pretty smooth so far. She said it's going okay, but they're not totally sure yet. It's a whole new thing, and they wish they had a little more training on it or familiarization. So yeah, like pretty good, nice people. It's nice when the crew on American is friendly and in a good mood. You can never be totally sure if that's going to be the case. But I've had good experiences lately, and my limited experiences. This is only my second American transatlantic flight in the last 5-6 years, and the last one was last year going to JFK. But yeah, it's always a nice time, and let's see how the meal is. Mostly just looking forward to getting to that ice cream sundae, which is always the American Airlines highlight. Not much views out the window now as we sort of start to head out over the Atlantic, north of Ireland. And relatively short flight, 7 hours, 22 minutes to Philadelphia. A place I've never flown into in my life. I've only been in Philadelphia once for like a minute as a joke. So, yeah, maybe we'll end this video with a cheesesteak and some Rocky Balboa stair climbing. What do you think? Let me know if you'd like to see that. It'll already have been decided by the time you let me know, but it's cool to get the comment in advance anyway. Do you think I'm going to do that? Am I going to pull through with enough energy after landing at 3:30 p.m., feeling jet lagged, and needing to get to New York tonight on the train? Will I take the time to eat a cheesesteak in front of the camera? This is the big mystery of this flight, in addition to my overall verdict on this new premium American Airlines product. It says the small plate to start with is a chicken tikka, which this is not. It's basically like cold, unmelted cheese quesadilla with beans on it. Is that what it's supposed to be? I literally have no idea what this is. It's like a very bland cheese that seems like it should have been melted, but it's not. Cold dish. This is bad. Super bad. I just don't know if it's supposed to be like this or if this is a mistake in preparation. Can't really tell. Ugh. There's some guacamole kind of sauce underneath. When you get to that, it at least has a little bit more feeling of togetherness, a little more flavor. But this is like, I don't know what it is because it's not on the menu, but I would label this Southwestern sadness dish. Okay, main dish now. Beef short rib. It looks promising. It looks pretty good. And it's pretty hard to go wrong with short rib, I think. Let's see. Of course, the beauty of short rib is that a lot of beef can be tough on a plane because getting the cooking right is not easy at all. And short rib tends to not be so. So if I see that on a menu, I'm often tempted to order it. Potatoes are good. Yeah, I like this. It's good. Again, you're not going to win any awards for presentation or flavor, but good, solid meal. Filling, good portions. Yeah, the vegetables and beans are pretty good too. 7 out of 10. It's Sunday time, and this time I got all the toppings. Usually I don't get the berries, but today I just said throw it all in there. We'll see how it goes. I don't even really know why this is so good. Always has been, always will be apparently, American Airlines ice cream sundae. It is probably a lot, again, about all my years of associations, positive associations with having this, being on the way somewhere nice, somewhere fun, traveling, being in business class with American. It's just, you get these associations. It starts to feel like home. This ice cream sundae is a touch of feeling like home to me. Forgot to add, of course, you have USB-A here, and then here you have a universal power. If we could just focus, and USB-C up above, 60 watts. So that'll charge your phone up good and fast enough anyway. And a little remote here that you can use with the screen on it. Anyway, I don't tend to use that too much, but if you wanted to check out the entertainment, control your screen, you can do it from there. You can also do a touch screen on this main one. And it's a pretty good selection here. Quite a lot of stuff. Oh, and the Wi-Fi, that's interesting. So the Wi-Fi cost $30 for the full flight. That's the only package that was available. To my mind, that's very expensive these days. You have Qatar Airways with its $10 Wi-Fi. Actually now with many Starlink Wi-Fis that they're free. So $30 for the full flight. It is fast though. This is Viasat, satellite Wi-Fi, and it's fast. I was able to send a 2-minute video over WhatsApp in a couple minutes, for example. You know, a bit slower than on the ground, but not so bad, and things work. You can do things, you can send videos, etc. Not quite Starlink, but very functional. So that's good, but I just kind of feel like these days $30 is a lot, and I didn't see any kind of a messaging only pass that was free for Advantage members or anything like that. It was just $30 or nothing, so that's a bit weird to me. I think that's something that ought to change. Flight attendants are super friendly. As I've kind of gotten to know them a bit, chatted with them a bit, just really lovely people. So that's great. It's really making the flight nice, and really eager to serve when they saw that I was enthusiastic about the Sundae, for example. Just like very happy to bring me that with all the toppings, and yeah, calling me by my first name, which is actually really nice. And yeah, so a shout out to them. Thank you to them for making this flight quite a bit nicer than it would have been otherwise. So, early verdict, without having tried to actually sleep, is that this footwell is good. There is space. Depending how tall you are, I'm 178 centimeters, 5'10", and I think my length, my feet go to a point where it's still quite wide. There is a further in point, if you're taller, where it gets pretty narrow, I can feel. So for me, quite good. As with many of these seats, as you start getting up to 6 foot and higher, potentially more problematic. But let's see, I'll report back after a little bit of nap time. Hopefully with a bit of a fresher outlook on life and this and that. I did want to say one thing, because today is September 11th, 24 years since the events of 2001, and definitely not lost on me. For a long time I wouldn't have flown on this day. And I've often tried to kind of get through the day putting it out of my mind. It weighs heavily on me still, and partly that's because I'm from New York, also partly because when that happened I had just started NYU University. Actually, it was the first week of school. I had just moved back to New York as a young adult, age 18, so now you know how old I am if you want to do the math. And yeah, that happened that first week at NYU, and I was living in Lower Manhattan, basically Union Square, just above where the city was closed down for a couple of weeks after school was closed. We had that sort of, we experienced that day. We were there. I went down as close as I could after the towers fell, watched them fall, then went down there. And that kind of acrid smoke coming up periodically up towards us, sort of living in that alongside just the kind of malaise, the kind of PTSD, the collective PTSD of everybody, and a kind of long sort of depression that followed personally and also sort of generally for many people, I think, that I knew and that I met and who were around. So yeah, just wanted to like acknowledge it and take a moment. The captain actually earlier, she said a similar thing, that the volume was not very high, so I couldn't hear everything she said, but she wanted to acknowledge, take a moment to sort of recognize those who were lost and what a tragic event that was. And for me also, how much the world has changed since that moment, which was just as I was kind of becoming an adult. So yeah, it's a lot, but since it is that day and since I'm flying American Airlines, wanted to say something about it. That was also the year I started flying American and becoming a kind of crazy miles collecting Advantage member, starting to get lounge access and upgrades and platinum status. So there's a nice memory tied to that year too. A little bit later on is when I took my first American flight like that, where I started racking up the miles and being really strategic about it. So 24 years of that. Yeah, so anyway, things are a lot different now. In some ways, the same. The business class seats are much nicer now, so that's cool. Yeah, we didn't have lie flat seats then. And however much I may nitpick about this seat or the service or anything, this is amazing. Like, what a privilege to be able to do this. And so, in such a routine way, so comfortable, so easy. Just go to Philadelphia, whatever. I booked it last week. Cost me $50. So, forever grateful to be able to do this and never taking it for granted, even though it probably seems like I am a lot of the time. Okay, good night. Folks, it's time for the light meal pre-arrival. We're about an hour out, maybe a little bit less, and I believe even over the United States at this point. Confusingly, local time 2:30 p.m. Time to destination an hour and 6 minutes. Estimated time of arrival 3:15 p.m. So I'm not sure. But anyway, this looks like a pretty standard American carrier pre-arrival meal. I'm gonna try it now. I got a Goose Island IPA, which I also really like. Probably not the best plan, because after this I still have to go into Philadelphia, hunt down a good cheesesteak, go to the train station, get the Amtrak up to Newark, and then an Uber up to my uncle's place in Jersey City. So that should be a point at which I'm getting very tired, because it'll feel like the middle of the night in Europe. But we do it, we get through it, it's part of the fun, right? Okay, this is pretty tasty. I don't know about having like super cheesy dishes before arrival when it's starting to feel late for you, getting that kind of jet lag, discombobulated thing. To have like a very cheesy dish, which is common on American carriers for the pre-landing meal, it wouldn't be my first choice, but it tastes pretty good. And it'll be filling, I think. Very decent flight, and I had a nice time. 7.5 hours went by very quickly and easily. Flight attendants were awesome. The seat is comfortable. I got a good little nap. Food was fine. It's not something that I would go out of my way to try and book on, though. It doesn't give you that feeling of like, wow, that's such an amazing offering, I want to fly that. The door is nice. That's about hit, really, in terms of upgrades. It's a little more cozy. Things feel new and fresh. The door is nice, but otherwise, I expected more, actually. There was a lot of hype around this, and yeah, I'm just not sure if it has that thing that makes it extra special, that really launches American into a new, more premium future. Of course, it's great in sort of pure terms. Amazing way to fly. And I'd gladly fly this for any duration of flight. But relative to what's out there, I'm not going to go out of my way to fly this in particular. Cool if I get it, but also don't need to get it again. Sorry to say. I'm curious if you've tried it yet, what you thought, and if not, what do you think of what you saw? Do you think I'm being overly harsh, overly critical? Let me know. And let me know what you want me to fly next. Thank you so much, as always, for coming along, watching, joining me on these journeys. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, where I've been posting throughout this trip, at Gabe Lee. Put it down here. And thank you so much again for your support in Philadelphia. I'm Gabe Lee. See you next time.